We've got breaking news out of Major League Baseball where Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase has been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave as part of the league's sports gambling investigation. He's the second Guardians pitcher to be tied to the investigation alongside Luis Ortiz, who was also placed on leave. Clase is a three-time All-Star and finished third in AL Cy Young voting last season. This year, he's racked up 24 saves for the Guardians. That's tied for fourth in the majors after finishing second last season and leading Major League Baseball in that category in 2023. So Clase is going to be on leave through August 31st as Major League Baseball continues this investigation. And let's welcome in our MLB expert here, Julian McWilliams, to talk about it. Julian, first things first, how troubling is it that this is now the second Guardians pitcher that is now under investigation here for some sort of gambling related to Major League Baseball? What is your concern level when we're looking at it in its totality there?
I think it's a huge concern. And if you look at what the Guardians are doing, this is the team that's in the playoff hunt, I think, right? And but in all, like, this isn't necessarily even about betting on the game. A lot of these guys are just betting on certain pitches and in certain areas and certain spots in the game. So the fact that this has become an issue and it's come widespread among the Guardians, you know it's happening elsewhere around the league. Like, I don't think it's necessary this is the only place. And the fact that MLB has sort of aligned itself with sports betting so much, that's another issue I think that's involved, because we sort of normalize this thing, and it's only natural for these players, not excusing it, but it's only natural for some of these players to go out and possibly maybe not bet on the outcome of a game like a Pete Rose, but perhaps bet on a certain pitch.
And Clase is going to be on leave through August 31st. So we've had this conversation as the trade deadline is looming, Julian. How do the Guardians approach it, right? Are they going to be buyers? Are they going to be sellers? So now with this in mind, because Emmanuel Clase is, you know, one of the best pitchers that is out there, how does this change how the Guardians are going to approach the trade deadline?
Well, Jacqueline, I spoke to somebody from the Guardians yesterday, and they said a lot of it will depend on how they do sort of this week leading up to the trade deadline. They haven't necessarily put a finger on being the buyers or sellers. I think that they said they'll be somewhere in the middle. But perhaps now they're going to be total sellers, right? I think if you're looking at this team, they're run by their pitching a lot of times. I mean, I know they're a team that puts the ball in play, but they've always been known to be one of the better teams in baseball when it came to their pitching. And particularly Clase, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball at his position, at the closer spot. So the fact that he's not there is a huge loss for not just for the Guardians, but for the game, because it's one thing to have somebody like a Luis Ortiz go on that list, but to have a star like Clase, that's huge. And I think it opens up a whole new can of worms for this league and how they go forward with it.
Julian, I know you kind of mentioned it and you alluded to it, saying, you know, perhaps this is going on elsewhere in Major League Baseball. So ultimately, when you think about it, what do you think the ultimate fallout is going to be from this Emmanuel Clase situation?
I think the league's going to have to go back and do some soul searching in terms of how they see sports betting in the game, right? I think even from the Shohei Ohtani in his trainer or his translator's issue last year, in terms of how, you know, he got caught with the sports betting thing. And could you imagine if somebody like Shohei Ohtani, the face of baseball, was wrapped up in that? And, you know, some people still have questions about if he was or if he wasn't, but ultimately MLB decided that he wasn't. But the fact that this is happening now, and it's been with this one team, but it's been in 2 consecutive months, that's an issue. And I think MLB is going to have to go back, have a conversation with the union, and see how they can come to an agreement of what they have to do to go forward, because this can't take place in the game right now.
Julian, we certainly appreciated joining us for this breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, where Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase has been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave as part of the league's sports gambling investigation. And we have a statement here from the Guardians on the Clase investigation saying, quote, "We have been informed that no additional players or club personnel are expected to be impacted. The Guardians are not permitted to comment further at this time." The Guardians then go on to say, "And will respect the league's confidential investigative process as we continue to fully cooperate."